What is up everyone, and welcome to a special little double whammy video today. We're taking a look at a lovely little donation, and we're also taking a look at a machine that I've bought locally myself in the same video today. So you get two for the price of one, because I got a lot of content to make this week, which is a bonus for you guys. So first of all, in the first half of the video, we're gonna dig into this wonderful donation from Keith. So before I say anything, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Keith, and I've also got a couple of other little points to mention in regards to this donation overall. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. Got some cool stuff to show you today. So, while I dig into this package, I'd like to mention that Keith has been trying to get in touch with me for a very long time. And the story behind this is, as you guys know, I'm not very active on my email inbox. It's very hard to keep up with my emails. And it turns out that Keith was actually trying to contact me for a long time. And I actually noticed one of his comments on a video, and it turns out that because of my lack of activity and my lack of replies in my email inbox, that can look quite bad, and I was very gutted that I didn't manage to get back to Keith in time, and there are still many people that I have not got back to. So I replied to him and explained my situation. I apologised because of course I was accepting donations on the channel, and he'd been offering me a donation for a while and I hadn't accepted. I hadn't even read his email, but it's simply the luck of the draw sometimes, guys. And I wanted to sort of mention this as a bit of not a lesson to everyone, but like just mention it to everyone. If I don't read your email, it is nothing personal at all. I can promise you that it is nothing personal. If I'm sitting at the desk while an email pops through and I get the notification, then I'll probably read it. But if not, then it's completely luck of the draw whether I'll read it or not, which is terrible, and I am trying to become better at reading my emails, but it is proving to be still a little difficult. But nevertheless, a donation has come from this, and it was very successful. I did apologise to Keith for my lack of reply, because it's one of the things that I always feel bad about, you know, not replying to people. And we got everything sorted in the end, and as you guys can see, here is the donation. So everything went well. Okay, so digging into the box, this is a lovely little donation today. As you can see, nice small package. A little bit tricky to dig into, but we are in. So, we have a note from Keith. And he's written it nice and big. Awesome. Hi Tom, please find enclosed the graphics card and FireWire cards we talked about. I hope you find them useful. If I come across any other bits and pieces, I'll send you an email to see if they would be of any use to you. All the best, take care, Keith. Absolutely wonderful note. I've been chatting to him a little bit. He sounds like a great guy, and I'm still very apologetic about not replying to him sooner. But this is a nice donation. One man's spare junk is another man's treasure, and as you guys know, I'm always looking for new things to play around with on the channel. So today we've got a nice simple, if we take a look in here, here we have it, anti-static bag. Here it is. This is a nice, straightforward, simple, fairly low profile FireWire card. As you guys can see, 3 FireWire 400 on the back and FireWire 400 internally, which is also really cool. So this is nice standard PCI. This will come in handy definitely in the future. I do have a FireWire card in my Hackintosh, as you guys know. Matt donated that, and that is also a FireWire 400 card. I asked Keith about OS X compatibility. He wasn't 100% sure, but it's surprising the amount of FireWire cards that do work in OS X, so that is great, and that will definitely come in handy. Stick that in the parts drawer. As you guys know, I actively support FireWire. I like FireWire, so that is always handy. Now, this little guy is very interesting because I already own one, So because of this, I plan on doing a pretty cool video, hopefully down the line, incorporating both of them. Now this, as far as I know, is a Radeon 5450 GPU, which is in fact an ideal GPU for something like a home theatre PC, or just a PC where you want a little bit more horsepower than integrated graphics, but you don't want a big, power-hungry, loud video card. As you guys can see, it's got a nice DVI, HDMI and VGA output, which I believe is the same as my other 5450. This is a slightly different card. As you guys can see, PCIe, I believe. And taking a close look at it, this is probably a little bigger than the other one I have. The heatsink is probably a little bigger, so this one will probably run cooler. This is a nice card. It's still, I believe they still sell these cards in Maplin's UK, or they may now be selling like a 6450 maybe, if they exist, I'm not too sure. But these kind of cards come in handy, especially for testing purposes. So it's very nice of Keith to send that over. And I have actually been clearing out my computer parts, guys, and trying to slim things down. I'm doing a terrible job of wrapping these back up. I've been trying to slim things down, so it's nice to get a couple of parts that aren't total junk. They're just nice and useful, and they will definitely come in handy. I did have an overwhelming amount of sort of floppy drives and IDE cables and crappy old worn out 80mm case fans. I was overwhelmed by those kind of things. But these kind of things always come in handy, and I really appreciate people sending this kind of thing over. I don't accept all of these donations because sometimes people are in different countries, or it's just not feasible, or whatever, you know. I don't like to make every video a donation unboxing, but once in a blue moon, now and again, accepting this kind of thing is great. And having these cards hanging around, if I get a little PC in and I want to upgrade the card, say for instance the HP machine that does not have, having said that, that doesn't have PCIe, but a PC that I get in that doesn't have a graphics card, if I want to stick a graphics card in it for whatever reason, these are very handy to have around, and they don't take up much space at all. So I'm very happy with that. Keith, you are a legend. Again, my final apologies for not instantly replying to your email, or even not replying for a good couple of months. But this is a wonderful donation, and hopefully worth the wait. So let me close that up. I like to keep my notes, by the way, guys. I keep all of the notes that come with the donations because I think one day they'll be absolutely lovely to look back on. It's a nice little package here. I'll put this to one side. Again, Keith, thank you, man. And if anyone has any ideas with what I should do with either of those components in a future video, please let me know. Ooh, and of course, it's handy because, as you guys know, I'm always looking for ideas to make free videos where I don't have to spend any money, and these kind of donation videos where they supply parts. Often I can use those parts in a future video, and that saves me quite a bit of money, pouring money into the channel. So very much appreciate it. Again, one more time, cheers, Keith. So the second part of this video is the showcase of this little guy. This is a PowerMac G4 Quicksilver, and it's quite exciting actually because I found this locally, or rather it came to me. Now, I don't know if you guys remember Dan. He was an ex-band member, and, well, you know, I joined his band really. But I don't really speak to Dan much these days, and he came up to me and he said, "Yo, Tom, I've got this Mac. Just give me 20 quid for it and it's yours." So I was like, hell yeah, man. And I didn't see it for a while, so I didn't know what was happening. So I spoke to him a few days ago and I said, "Dan, is that Mac still happening? You know, I've got 20 quid. Let's do it if it's still happening." And he was like, "Ah, yeah, cool. I haven't had a minute." And he brought this Mac to me, and here it is. It turned out to be a Quicksilver. I knew it was a PowerMac G4 of some kind, but it turned out to be a Quicksilver. And it's in generally nice condition, and for 20 quid you can't go wrong. It's hard finding Macs locally. It's not something that happens all the time, but it does depend what country you're in as well. I have now found 2 iMac G3s, an eMac, and this PowerMac locally, and possibly more, maybe, possibly more. And of course I've seen Macs, but you know, not for sale locally. But I know it's really hard to get hold of this PowerPC stuff in some countries. So I do realise that I am quite lucky. Now, as you guys know, this is my third Quicksilver. Well, second, if you don't count the Hackintosh as a Quicksilver anymore. But Funnily enough, I believe this is the same specifications as the other two machines I received, which is a bit of a shame. You know, it would be really nice to have a different spec machine just for a little bit of variety, but I do believe this is a single 800 megahertz edition. I could be wrong, but I think it is from looking at the label at the back. Now, as you guys know, I showed this in my video yesterday. I showed a sneak peek when I was talking about my new test setup, my testing / repair setup. If you haven't seen that video, go and check it out. It's a really cool little setup. And the Quicksilver does not boot up. Now, I'm not going to do anything with it in this video. I'm simply going to show you guys the Quicksilver, and I wanted to tell you the story of how I got it anyway. Not that it's that exciting, but 20 quid locally is not bad. I'm going to show you guys inside. It's pretty standard affair. In fact, it's totally standard affair. And hopefully next week we may get a chance, or sometime down the line we may get a chance to figure out why it's not booting up properly, figure out something. I'm not too sure. There's a disc in the optical drive by the sounds of it, but let's take a little look around the Mac first and at the condition. So the front of the machine could do with a little clean, as you guys can probably tell, but it's nice it doesn't have the zip drive cut out. I've never had a Quicksilver with a zip drive cut out, or an MDD for that matter, thank God, because I think it looks awful. My G3 hasn't got one, none of the systems have got one, and I'm really pleased about that because it's such a clean look. This basically looks like my Hackintosh. It's pretty crazy, and I've got another Quicksilver upstairs, so I'm pretty much surrounded by these things at the moment, but again, for 20 quid locally, couldn't pass up the deal. Flipping it round, there we go. Standard, totally standard on the back. We have what looks to be like a SCSI card of some sort. I did have one of these in my original Quicksilver, but it's in the drawer somewhere now. And also a missing PCIe blanking plate. But in terms of the motherboard and stuff, of course, everything is totally bog standard Quicksilver. So of course, after doing all of that work to the other Quicksilver to get my Hackintosh in there, I'm very familiar with these systems now, very, very familiar. And seeing yet another one that is stock and original is kind of weird for me. I'm not going to lie, guys, I spent so long fiddling around with my Quicksilver case that seeing another stock one now is just really, really odd. It's almost like going back in time. But the latch on this is actually a little loose. It's got a bit of play to it, which I haven't seen before, but it hasn't got the yellowed ring. Now, on my other Quicksilver upstairs, the ring here, the rubber ring, is a little yellowed, and on my Hackintosh, it's totally clean, totally white. This one is sort of somewhere in between. Opening it up, it's a little stiffer than my other two, but folding it down, you guys will soon be able to probably see that it is totally original inside. So here we are, here are the internals. If I just move up to the RAM, it does have two 256 meg sticks installed, I believe. Only one of them has the, has 256 meg written on it. This one doesn't actually say the amount of RAM. But I assume it's been upgraded to 512, which is cool, but still a little bit useless. If you want to max out a Quicksilver, you've got to have 512 meg sticks. That's the only way to do it, of course. And then it takes a gig 0.5, which is not as much as most of the other Power Macs. Standard graphics card, the 32 meg one, can't remember what it is, GeForce 2MX or something, I'm not too sure. Whatever was in the other two Quicksilvers is probably in here, because you can tell instantly that it's not anything better because it has the VGA port. Of course, there's that PCI card there that we don't really have any interest in, and it does appear to have the stock Apple drive. This looks to be a, what is that, Seagate? I'm not too sure, guys. That drive looks a bit unfamiliar to me. But we will delve further into this system to find out what is wrong with it and why it is not booting. It does have a version of OS X on it, but it gets stuck at the blue screen. But that may have something to do with the fact that there's a disk in the optical drive that could be totally spinning it out. So there is another Quicksilver. I believe it's 800 megahertz, but I'm not too sure. Like I said, when we take a look at fixing it up, we will see if we can get the exact specifications up, and we'll take a look at it. Of course, I'm showcasing my new testing / repair setup a little bit here because I think it's really cool. I had some lovely feedback on that video yesterday, guys, so huge thanks for that. And yes, I did forget to incorporate a LAN cable. I cannot believe I forgot to do that. So I'm going to have to redo my snake of cables, and I would like to look for a black LAN cable just so it blends in. So I think I'll do that very soon. I may have to order one, but I may have one sitting around somewhere. Of course, part of the same video, bringing this into the frame. Again, Massive thank you to Keith for this donation and wonderful packaging. It's really, really nice of you, really kind of him. And thanks to everyone that donates. This week has been really, really cool on the channel, and it's nice to do a little chilled video today. I'm actually feeling very tired and a little bit under the weather today, guys, so that's why we're not going full out on an extreme video. I do have lots and lots of video ideas, but I'm not too sure if I'm going to go ahead with those plans tomorrow or not. If I don't, then there is plenty to keep you going. I've got so many ideas, I just need a little bit more energy to execute some of the more involved ideas that require a little bit more work. So hopefully today's sort of slower paced, chilled out video, hopefully it's been enjoyable. If you have any ideas of what I could do with this Quicksilver, then please let me know. I now have 2 of these machines hanging around. One of them, of course, the one upstairs, I stole its front power button because I couldn't find one on eBay in time, but I will be getting another one off eBay to replace it because I don't like the idea of a machine having some of its parts stolen. So I have 2 Quicksilvers of the similar specifications. They're fairly useless to me. So if you guys have any ideas what I should do with them, then please let me know. I'm not going to deploy them as part of my setup in any way. I've already got, you know, an MDD, a G5, a G3, all sorts of other things. So maybe even something like a giveaway in the future, or I have no idea what to suggest. Maybe maxing one of them out and selling it on eBay and making a series of videos. I'm not too sure. It's just very expensive to max out a G4, mainly because of the graphics card and the SATA card. But there we go. It's all good. If anyone has any ideas, then let me know. I really do appreciate your feedback lately, guys. Your support is really, really nice. Big thank you to Keith. Big thank you to Dan, and big thank you to you guys for watching. This has been a fun little video to record. I'm absolutely knackered, so I'm going to take a rest straight after I press the stop button and turn the camera off. Hope you guys are enjoying this week of videos. Everything is really cool, of course. Awesome setup. More to come on the setup really soon. But anyway, before I ramble on any longer, guys, big thank you, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.